back. This is chemistry question 46 from IMAT 2019 past paper. So I'll be answering this question. The element Z reacts with water at room temperature and hydrogen gas is released. So we must know that this characteristics of being reactive with water at room temperature and the product, which is hydrogen gas, is released is mainly of group 1 and 2 elements. So I'm gonna write here the general chemical equation for reaction with water. So this is at room temperature. So we know generally the water will be liquid at room temperature. So reaction with water. So the first one is for group 1 element. So I'm gonna represent with symbol X. So we know that 2x plus 2H2O, which is water, gives the metal hydroxide. It forms an alkaline solution plus the hydrogen gas that is released. And for group 2 elements, which I'm gonna just represent using symbol Z. So which is Z plus 2 moles of water, which gives the metal hydroxide and hydrogen gas that is released. So this is the general chemical equation for the group 1 and 2, the alkaline metals reaction with water under room temperature, where the water is basically liquid. So this is the general formula. So we know in this 5 of given options, we will mainly focus on group 2 and group 1 elements. So as I said, because they're more reactive with water, but still we haven't decided yet. So, but the reason why I haven't considered the other elements, the groups of element, because transition metal is basically not very reactive with water under room temperature. So we'll just kindly ignore this. And also group 3, but although they are amphoteric, meaning they can exhibit nature like acids or basic, whereas water is also amphoteric, so they may change being acid or base. But group 3 elements like aluminium oxides and something like that, they're not generally reactive, they're insoluble as well. So also I'm gonna ignore this one. And the group 7 element is also ignored right away. So the next thing is, I'm gonna raise this off. So the next question says the oxide of element Z is solid at room temperature and does not conduct electricity. So we know generally group 1 and 2 elements form a solid structure at room temperature and they do not conduct electricity. So why is that? Because they form a very rigid ionic lattice structure. So they form crystal solid structure under room temperature, so they do not conduct electricity as well. So that's reason why it does not conduct electricity, but also that their ions are locked in their position. So they're locked in their position and so they cannot carry electrical charge, cannot carry electrical charge. So that's why they do not conduct electricity. So the only way they can conduct electricity is in two conditions: if they're either in molten state or they're dissolved in some solvent, which is mainly a water, to form an aqueous solution. Aqueous solution. So only in these two conditions they may conduct electricity even if they're in oxides. So this is one condition they can conduct, but this, since they said that solid at room temperature, so we assume they're not dissolved in water, neither they're molten. So it clearly says solid state. So it does not conduct electricity, and that's true. So the oxide reacts. So we have new information over here, which is the oxide reacts with acids and has the formula ZO. So as we also constructed the general chemical equation with water, so this is also true. So now we can confirm clearly that it's group 2 element, because in group 2 element, basically all the elements involved in group 2 form oxidation state of 2 plus, meaning they have 2 electron in their valence shell, so they lose out 2 electron to form a bond with the other element. So since they mentioned the oxide, so we know that, let's consider the symbol Z, 2 plus, and we know for oxygen it is 2 minus. So if we uh, cross multiply the charges, so we get this compound Z2O2. So we can simplify this and get ZO. So yes, this is correct, and this is characteristics of group 2 element. So, but although transition metal can also form ZO compounds because they have variable oxidation, but according to the given information, reaction with water at room temperature and the products hydrogen gas and being solid at room temperature and conducting electricity, this all information mainly suits with group 2 element. So let's move to next info. So to which group part of periodic table does element Z belongs to? So we know element Z, we have confirmed it's group 2, so it's group 2. So we'll ignore group 1, and the correct option is group 2 elements. So option E. So that's it. That's how we solve this question. It's easy. You just have to remember the characteristics of each elements and group in certain groups, but you're not expected to literally memorize the entire elements in periodic table, just some basic elements like group 2 and group 1 elements and group 3 and halogens, and also some uh, like noble gases and stuff like that. So you generally only have to learn the basics about the periodic table and their trends and their characteristics, so you can easily solve this question. And we already know that periodic table is not allowed for IMAT, but neither you don't even need periodic table for this question. But yes, like for this question where we had to know the confirm if it can form the compound Z also, you generally know, just focus on the group they're belonging to. So like if they say group 3 or group 2, so you know their valence electron mainly corresponds to group they belong to. So that's how you can easily solve this question. So that's all, and thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you find this video helpful. Please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys. Bye.